I want to talk about one of my favorite animated movies of all time, Kung Fu Panda. And I felt like talking about this, especially in this day and age when, well, animated movies, they don't really feel all that exciting anymore. I mean, the story isn't all that interesting. The animation's okay, I guess, but still, it feels like something's missing. You don't really feel all that nostalgic for it. I don't think you're gonna feel all nostalgic for it in a few years' time. Now, there are some exceptions, but most movies, uh, they just don't really stick to you, if you know what I mean. Now, I want to talk about Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda, when the movie came out, honestly, it was iconic. I mean, the way the story was done, the type of story that it was, and the animation, it was all awesome. I mean, it was unique, it was different. It wasn't something we'd honestly seen before. I mean, the story is basically a panda that wanted to do kung fu, but he was a panda, so it's basically gonna be difficult for him to do kung fu. And then there's a bunch of masters who are really good at doing kung fu, who've been training for a long time, and he goes to see which one of them's gonna be selected to be a dragon warrior. And through a series of funny incidents, he ends up being chosen as the dragon warrior, which is hilarious to think about. And then there's this big bad guy who's super strong, who's super capable, who's coming to take the dragon scroll, and he's the one who's supposed to stop him. But I mean, there's no way he can fight. He doesn't know anything. He has no training, and the fact that he's the one who's gonna have to stop him is kind of hilarious to think about. And the fact that they managed to make the movie in a way that he actually does manage to be the bad guy without any incredible outside help or anything, but just through his own way, using his own body, he managed to find his own way of fighting and actually beats him. That was awesome. And it was honestly believable. That's the best part. The way he fought Tai Lung, the bad guy, in that movie was awesome to see. And the way that Shifu ended up training him, because he didn't really respond well to conventional training methods. But when it came to food, he was obsessed with food. He was a big panda. And managing to use that to train him, that was an awesome thing to do. It was unique, to say the least. And he used that fighting style to beat Tai Lung. And plus, well, I guess he did have a little help in terms of his body weight, preventing Tai Lung from using that nerve attack because he couldn't get through to his nerves. So his body actually became handy in that case. But still, the fact that they managed to do a story like that, they actually thought out a story, really thought it out on how to make this great, how to make everything work, rather than just putting a plot device or something in there to help him beat beat the bad guy, like a weapon or something. They didn't do that. It was all him, and it was believable, and it was done well, and the animation was really good. It was the right type of animation. I mean, it was somewhat on the realistic side. There was a lot of detail for all the characters. The characters were all animals, but still, it looked good and it was done well. And that was an era of great animation. And I felt like we lost that along the way. And now a newer Kung Fu Panda movie did come out. And I guess it had the core stuff, but that's a whole other thing. I mean, the story is already completed. They need to bring a new movie. I think that was the thing that most people, including me, have a problem with. But still, we don't really feel like we're seeing original animated movies that are that great. I mean, the only few exceptions I can think about was Coco or Zootopia. But other than that, they're not really all that interested anymore. I mean, Kung Fu Panda, the movie was something that kids and adults could watch. If you are an adult and watching it for the first time, you wouldn't get bored. It's not like a childish cartoon. There was a lot of stuff in there that you could focus on. There was a good story that you could focus on. And that's what happened. And overall, it was a fantastic movie, and I really wish something new like that would come out rather than making sequels or prequels or just bring out the old stuff again. I really wish that new stuff like that, with a lot of thought being put into it, would come out. Otherwise, well, anime is just gonna end up taking over. I mean, anime is doing a lot of good with the stories right now, and I feel like the animated films, the they need to really change it up and try harder to make great movies rather than just putting something out and putting a lot of color in it just so that kids would watch, because that's not gonna work in the long run. So